Okay, here is page 2. 1/4 times 1/2 is 1/8. So here's 1/2, here's 1/4, and I labeled this sketch 1/2 and 1/4, and the answer is 1 of 8 are colored. 1/3 times 1/4 is 1/12. So this way has been divided into thirds, but here's 1/3. This way has been divided into fourths, and here's 1/4. I labeled the sketch. Where do they collide? Right here. So 1 out of how many altogether? 12. 1/12. 3/4 times 5/4. Well, I mean 4/5. This side is the side that's been divided into 4. So I want 3/4. And this side is the side that's been divided into fifths, and you want 4 of them. And then you make the rectangle. And that means 12 out of 20 are colored in. And you could also say, well, 12 is an even number, 20 is an even number, so it could be 6/10. And then 6 divided by 2. 12 divided by 2 is 6. 20 divided by 2 is 10. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So all of these are correct answers, right? At Kelly's school, 2/3 of the playground is covered with grass, and 3/5 of the grassy area is a baseball field. How much of the school playground is taken up by the baseball field? Make a labeled sketch to model the program. So here is a labeled sketch, means that you have a drawing and you're marking what it is. So let me show you on a blank piece of paper. So let's think about this. I have to make a labeled sketch. Use your sketch to solve the problem. Write an equation right here to match, and write a complete sentence to show the answer. So this one's worth a lot of points here. So 2/3 of the playground is covered with grass. So we've done all these rectangles, right? So we're going to start with a rectangle. 2/3 is covered with grass. So there is thirds, and this is 2/3 right here. 2/3 is covered, and I'm labeling my sketch. And 3/5 of the grassy area is a baseball field. So of this side, 2/3 goes to here, so 2/3 is grass, and 3/5 of this is the grassy area. So fifths, this side is divided into fifths, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now I have this side is the fifths, and 3/5 would be 1, 2, 3 right here, and I'm going to label it 3/5. 2/3. So now I join them, and that means there's my labeled sketch. Use your sketch to solve the problem. Well, there are 6 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes. And how many boxes are there all together are 15. So 6/15 so that's 6/15 of the playground. Okay, I don't need to do too much because I have to answer more later. So 6/15, and you might also think, well, 3 goes into 6 and 3 goes into 15. So 3 goes into 6 3 times, 3 goes into 15 5 times. So you could also do 3/5. Now down here it says write the equation. So we wanted 3/5 of 2/3, which is 3/5 times 2/3. Now remember, this says equation, so an equation has an equal sign, which is 6/15, which is then again this. Now the answer. What was the question? How much of the playground is taken up by the baseball field? The answer would be 3/5 or 6/15. 6/15 of the playground is taken up by the baseball field. So you have to write that whole sentence. All right, next one. Corey says 6 divided by a half is the same thing as a half of 6. So the answer is 3. Do you agree with him? Why or why not? Use numbers, labeled, modeled, or words. So I drew 6 divided in half. So if I divide 6 in half, the answer would be, how many are there? 12. Now, half of 6, if we had 6 and I just did half of them, the answer would be 3. So I disagree with Corey, and I would explain to him that in this picture, that when I take 6 things and I divide them in half, I get a larger number, right? I get 12 because now there's 12 pieces. And a half of 6 is going to end up in a smaller number so that they can't be the same. So I would just explain that. Okay, that's page 2.